Hey there, it's Kathy House, and I think I'm live. I had some internet issues, I guess, or some Facebook issues. I don't know, but now it seems to be working. We'll see what kind of video this is. But anyway, hi, I'm Kathy House. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I want to show you what I did with my paper pumpkin. Now, I haven't done a paper pumpkin video in a while, but my paper pumpkin came, sorry, and I was totally inspired and came up with some alternatives that I am just really excited to show you. So, and I'll give you some tips and ideas of what I do with my paper pumpkin and how I store them too. So this video might be a little bit longer than normal, but just bear with me. I hope it's worth your time. So for October, this is what the paper pumpkin looked like. Now, paper pumpkin is a subscription. You can subscribe and it automatically comes to your door every month. It's a paper crafting kit. Usually it's cards. Every now and then you'll get some other 3D projects, maybe some boxes or bags or something like that. But my favorite time of year with paper pumpkin is September, which is usually Halloween, although this year it wasn't. Anyway, then of course October and November, because then you're getting ready for Christmas. And the two kits, so this is October's, like I said, you can't get the kit anymore. Although I checked online this morning, you can still get the refill. So if you're interested in paper pumpkin, you can get the refill. Now the refill only comes with consumables. So it just comes with the paper, the glue, that's it, I think. I'd have to check again. Shoot, I should, but you can go to my online store and then you go to, I put the little cheat sheet here. Here we go. You go to menu, shop products, kits dash paper pumpkin, and refill past kits and more. And then when you go, you can see what's in the refill if you're interested in paper pumpkin. Now, if you decide to get the refill, and like I said, it doesn't come with the stamp set. Let me show you the stamp set. The refill doesn't come with the stamp set, but the stamp set looks, let me show you an easier way. The stamp set looks like that. And for some reason, when I get my paper pumpkin, well, especially in October and November, I always get 2 or 3 subscriptions. So I have 2 extra stamp sets. So if you're the first 2 to subscribe with me as your demonstrator, Kathy House in Denver, Colorado, I'll send you the stamp set from October's kit, which you can't get anymore in the refill. That way you can use it for the refill that you get from Stampin' Up, and probably it's going to coordinate. Let's see what next month's kit looks like. So it'll probably coordinate with next month's kit too. And while you're there looking at the refills, you can see that Stampin' Up has an add-on, which are cards and envelopes. Just be warned, they're 5x7, and there's 20 of them in there for like $14 if you're here in the US. But so there's a lot with paper pumpkin in October and November. And if I rambled on, and hopefully I said all the words right, sometimes my mouth works faster than my brain. But like I said, the main thing is that if you want this month's paper pumpkin stamp set, let me show it to you again. Oh, it looks like this. This is, I print these out from paper pumpkin so that I have them. I'll use this for storage. I'll show you later. But if you want the stamp set, you go and get the refill, but you have to be a subscriber to get the refill. So you sign up as a subscriber under me, Kathy House in Denver, Colorado, and I'll send you the extra stamp set that I have. You have to be the first 2. I only have 2 refills. Okay, there you go. Let me show you what the cards look like. First of all, you can see the cards are supposed to look like this, right? These are the instructions that come with the kit. So they're full color. They have a little ruler for you. They have ideas on the back, tell you all the colors it coordinates, all kinds of stuff. You can go here and watch a video that shows you how to put the cards together. Paper Pumpkin has all kinds of stuff. But this is what the cards look like. Now, I do add, I like, maybe you call me a paper snob, but I like to put a thick card base, and then I cut up the bases that they send and add them onto that. But can you see the little shimmer on there? This month they actually included some glitter glue. Now this, I think it used to be called stickles, and I used to struggle to get the stickles on my card right, but look how pretty. Can you see it around the houses and stuff? That they has that little shimmer. Maybe you can't see it on the camera. But anyway, this is free in this month's kit too. Okay, and then there's a little red ink spot, And then the other card looks like this. Now, the instructions said to put these little 2 trees on the front, but I really like the way the houses look, so I put my trees on the inside. So that's just what your basic kit turns into. And it has all the adhesive in there. It has the dimensionals. This is some glimmer paper. It's a really, really pretty kit. And it makes 8 cards. But let me show you what I did with my kit to make the cards just a little bit more fancy. So the first one that looks like this, I'm going to show you today how to cut it down. So now it opens like this. Isn't that cute? Look how cute that is. Love it. And then the one that looks like this, and this is the big wow. If you thought the other one was a wow, the one that looks like this, I'm going to turn it and show you how to make it look like this. So it's a pop-up card, and these little trees pop up like this, and then it stands like that. Is that not adorable? I think it's really cute. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started and make the cards. We'll start with the more difficult one first. So we're going to use the card base from here, and it's real nice to take this card. All I need for this card too is a scrap of basic white, and a card base from the kit. So let me find the other card base, this one here, and then in the bottom of the kit, let me grab some other things we'll need. We'll need a tag. Well, in fact, we'll need 2 tags, so I'm going to just take 2 little tags here. And then we'll need 3 of these little trees. I have one more set to make. I have one more of each card after this video I'll make for the other project, or finish up the kit. And then we need one of these for each card, and that's that glimmer paper. It's really pretty. I bet the video doesn't near show you what. Whoop, that's an extra one from what I cut last time. We'll need the dimensionals. I'm not going to use, your kit comes with glue dots, which work very well. However, I'm going to use just my regular tape runner, and then I'll also bring in some liquid glue and probably some tear and tape. We'll see what happens as I go. Then the other pieces we need, of course, look how pretty the envelopes are. Aren't those pretty? Love the envelopes. Okay, we'll set those aside. We don't need those yet either. And then last from the kit, if I can pick them up here, we need one of these, and whoop, that's the same one, and one of these. So now I think we have all the pieces and parts. Okay, we'll see if I can get this done in my head, or if I mess everything up. Bear with me. They said we're going to start with this one here, and the first thing I want to do is I'm going to cut down the card base. Oh, and I'm going to bring in a piece of Night of Navy cardstock. Now, if you watch my videos, you know that normally I would take my cardstock and I would score it at 4 1/4 before I cut it at 5 1/2, and then I'd have 2 card bases. But today, I want to score one of my cards different, so I'm not going to score both of them. I'm going to just cut my 11 inch at 5 1/2, and that gives me 2 Night of Navy card bases. For this card, I am going to go ahead and score it at 4 1/4. Now I still have, this is the 8 1/2 inch at the side. I'm going to use the lighter blade, so I make sure I don't cut it. And like I said, at 4 1/4, I'm going to score it, and then I'm going to score it at 2 1/8, and that is just the half of the 4 1/4, and score it there. And then we have that piece there. Okay, then I need a scrap of basic white, and I'm going to cut this at 2 1/4. And it just dawned on me that I wonder if I remember the exact measurements. This might be a nightmare. Maybe not. Okay, I'm going to cut it at 2 1/4, so I just have a little scrap here of 2 1/4 wide. I don't even know how long it is, but I'm going to take it and I'm going to score it now, this way, sorry, at a half. And I'm going to use my measurements over here. I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm going to score it at 1/4 inch. There we go. Score it at 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to score it at 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch. so I have it that it looks like this. And that doesn't look right. I didn't think. Make sure. Nope. I didn't want to score it like that. Let's try this again. I'm going to take my piece that's 2 1/4. Oh, thank goodness that was exactly half of it. And I'm going to score it this way at, don't do what I do, do what I don't do, at 1/4 of an inch. That part was right. And 1/2 of an inch. That's embarrassing. And then I'm going to score it at 1 1/4. There we go. That's better. And then I need to score it at 1 1/2. So let's see. Oh, my paper trimmer does go to 1 1/2. Let me see over here. 1 1/2 should be right there. So now, and it wasn't 1 1/2. Let me fix that. Boy, you really don't do what I do here. 1 1/2 should be here. Okay, so I'll make sure I don't fold it on that. Then I'm going to just fold those score lines so I make sure I get it right. And trust me, I'll put the measurements on my blog, becreativewithkathy.com, and those measurements will be right. So there you go. Okay, now I have those fold, just so I make sure I fold on that one score line I messed up. So again, it was 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 of an inch, 1 1/4, and 1 1/2. So it looks like that. Then I'm going to cut this down. So I want one of them that's about 3/4 of an inch. And what I'm doing is I'm figuring how wide, hang on, my blade fell off my trimmer, how wide my tree is. I want something that fits behind there. So I'm going to cut this one at 3/4. So now really I have a little strip that's 3/4 by 2 1/4. Right? That's going to make my little mechanism to go behind my tree. Hopefully that doesn't mess y'all up. And like I said, I'll put the measurements on my blog and you can see it there. Then I'm going to cut the next one at 1/2 an inch because this other one is pretty small, my little bush. And look, I took out the wrong bush. I'll have to get the right bush. And then the next one we're going to go at 3/4 again. Okay. So hopefully that made sense. I have my 3 pieces that are just, and it doesn't matter how long you cut them, just as long as your tree will cover up most of that on your little strips of paper. All right, and I need to find another tree. I got the wrong tree out of the kit. Now we need to take our card base here. Where'd my card base go? And we need to cut it down just a little bit. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it down, and I'm going to cut it down on this side here at 5 1/4. And we're just going to make a layer for our card. So we don't need that. And then I'm going to cut this down to 4 inches. Nope, you know, I'm going to cut this because I want to cut it off the bottom. I'm going to cut it in half at 4 1/4. And then I'm going to turn it around so I have less white down here. And I'm going to cut it at 4 inches this way. And now we have our card front that's going to lay on the front of our card like that. Now I'm all disorganized. Here they are. I'm looking all over for my pieces. Now the piece that goes in front here now is going to be a little bit too long. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this over, and I'm going to cut this down at 4 inches. And in fact, I'm going to cut it down at 4 and oops, no, excuse me, 5 3/8. We want to cut it down this way. And then I'm going to flip it over here and cut it down to 5 1/4. So now it still kind of keeps it centered with my projects in the middle. Okay, let's go ahead and put the trimmer away, and we'll do the next card. Bring the trimmer back in for the next card. Okay, I think I have all my little pieces and parts. Let me find the right tree. Where? Oh, here they are. They're way over here. Because I'm pretty sure I took the wrong tree out of this piece. I need this tree. We don't need 2 of this one. There we go. Now I have the right trees. So let's go ahead and stamp on this piece. Now, since I have the full-size ink pad. I'm going to go ahead and use Real Red in the full-size ink pad. Out of our stamp set, I have my stamps mounted. I have the inside greeting, and I have a Merry Christmas here. And I'm going to use that red. Let me bring in my foam mat. I get a better image here. If you don't have a foam mat, you can also use that piece of cardboard here that comes with your kit. This piece here, that would work just as well under your stamp set as the foam mat. Everything in the paper pumpkin seems to have a purpose. Okay, I like this side better. I'm going to just stamp it down here. Inked it up good. I should practice. Let me find a scrap paper here and just practice one time. Okay, it was fine. I should have just went for it. But you always got to be safe than sorry. Stamp that down. Let that ink sink in. And then there, nice. And you know what I forgot that I needed? Doggone it. Let me grab back the other side of that base. What did I do with that? This is the, this is the base that I cut off. And we're going to cut this down to 4 inches by 5 1/4. And this is going to be the inside of our card. Oh, it's already 5 1/4 because I cut it down. And then on this one toward the top, I'm going to stamp that sentiment for the inside. And after I stamp it, I can't remember what it says. I'll show you what it says on the inside. But up toward the top, because we're going to have the trees down here below. So just like that. And I forgot my foam mat. Oh well, my Pierce mat. There we go. So it says, celebrate the wonder and joy of this festive season, which is perfect for the inside of my card. All right, now we have, I think, all of our pieces and parts. Let's go ahead and put our card together. I'm going to leave it up there as a reference. These are for the next card. We're going to start, first of all, by folding on those score lines. So this is the 4 1/4 inch score line. I'm going to just take my bone folder and fold there. And then this one is the 2 1/8 score line. Now, if you're just joining me, I have all the measurements on my blog. Well, as soon as I finish the video and get a second to get them posted there, but all the measurements will be on my blog, becreativewithkathy.com. So I want to attach this piece here to the front of my card, but only below the score line. I don't want any adhesive up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tape runner and just run a strip up here along next to that score line. And then down here, I'm going to put it all the way at the bottom of my face. And then let's put a little bit down here. So now we know where we have our adhesive. And then when I line this up with a nice border all the way around, use my little bone folder to make sure it's stuck down really good. Now you have a pop-up that looks like that. Just that easy too. So let's go ahead and put the inside of our card in. So this, we're going to just layer right here like this. There we go. That piece that we trimmed down, not that one, here it is, this one, I thought, phew, I really messed up. Now this is where you got to check. To me, it still has too many, it's hiding the trees. We need to move this down just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and take off another, let's do a 1/2 inch and see. Well, maybe we'll do a 1/4 of an inch. Okay, I'm going to go in the middle and go with 3/8 of an inch and cut that off. So then that way we can see those trees. Look how pretty they are. There we go. And now I think that looks better just like that. So I'm going to put some dimensionals. They give you this big old pack of dimensionals in the kit, so you can go hog wild with the dimensionals this time. And look at me go hog wild. So I'm going to put dimensionals all over there. Take all those backs off. Watch out, the more dimensionals you use, the more backs you have to take off. And then I'm going to just layer this right here at the bottom. And look how pretty that is. Then we have that glimmer piece. I'm going to just put some adhesive on the back of that and set that right up here in the corner. Whoop, I'm going to make sure I move it over a little bit more so I have whew, a little bit of room here for my tag on this side too. So maybe make it straight like that. Okay, then on the back of my stamp tag here, I'm going to put some dimensionals. And this is just as Stampin' Up! Suggested you make the kit, this part. So this was no thoughts, no worries. Make a pretty card. And put that right there centered. Now make sure, see, I gave it enough room here. Looks like I did just exactly what I needed to. Look how pretty that is. So you could put those together first and then put it down, and then that way you could get, I got lucky, but it seemed to work. So now we have our greeting here behind right now. We need our pop-up mechanism to hold our cards. And that's where these little things come in handy. Now remember I told you I was going to bring in that tear and tape, because I think tear and tape is just a little, I'm going to say less messy than liquid glue, but I'm going to put, this is the 1/4 inch score mark and the 1/2 inch score mark. So I'm just on that tab at the very end so I can still fold on that score. Oh, you know what else we need? I need my silicone mat, just so it doesn't stick to itself. So let me grab, oh, and maybe I don't have to worry about it. Sometimes when that, where's my pokey tool? There it is. Sometimes this hangs over the edge and I don't want it to stick to my paper. So the silicone mat helps with that. And then if the tape's on the edge, you can just fold it over or use your silicone mat to slip it, to fold it. Did you see how I did that? And then you set this down and you set this part right over that tab. So it looks like that. And when you fold it back and forth, you want to make sure it folds this way and it goes this way. See how that works? But this is going to be that little pop-up mechanism. Now we want to do the same thing to these other two. So a little bit of tear and tape down there on the end on that 1/4 little tab down here, 1/4 inch. And let's go ahead, since, oh, this is a skinny one. Oh, that's right, this is the 1/2 inch one. There we go. And then take that release paper off. Fold, whoop, let go. Fold over that glue and then stick them down. It stuck to my finger there. And then make sure it goes back and forth. And this doesn't have to look pretty. It just has to be a mechanism that works. We're going to hide it behind our tree anyway. Okay, one more. And so you know, a long time ago, a friend of mine by the name of Kathy Hansen, I think her blog is Kathy's Stamp Room. I'll try to find it and put the link in below. She did a really cute potted plants with this, and that's where I got the idea was from her card. And darn it, I should have found that card. If I still have it, I don't know. It's a long time ago, but I got the idea from Kathy. So thank you, Kathy. It was a swap that she did, and I believe she has a video. I'll even find that, and you can see her video there too. Alrighty, so now we have our little pieces here for our trees, and here's our trees. So I'm going to take, first of all, let's take that tree in the center. I got a little straggly here that's bugging me. I'm going to put some liquid glue here, and then I'm going to put my tree so that the bottom just lines up with the bottom of one of those score lines. Now, it doesn't matter if your mechanism is working. It really doesn't matter which side, just one of the big sides. I think that's 1 inch there. I'm going to just take liquid glue because now I can put it in the center and it won't make too big of a mess. But I want to make sure the bottom of my tree lines up with the bottom. Can you see that there? How they line up together? Just like that. And now back here, when you unfold it, you have that score line that goes with the bottom of your tree. Yeah? I think that's pretty good to see. I thought you could see that pretty well. Okay, let's do this one. I have the little skinny one with this one. We're going to do the same thing with this tree. Line up the bottom as best we can. So it looks like that. Nope, nope, needs to go some more. Let's go down more, all the way to the bottom. And it might show a little bit here. I guess you could trim your tree off flat, but we want to make sure that when we have this unfolded, it's going to sit nice on our card. Okay, last one, let's do this one. Now this one's a little bit tricky because really the bottom is going to be this here. It's going to kind of have a bump. And if you see on my card, you kind of have this little white piece showing here, but it really didn't bother me. I thought it looked just fine. I don't even think you would notice if I didn't tell you. So then I'm going to take my liquid glue here, like this, and I'm going to put my mechanism down here on the bottom here, making sure it only shows, oh, and look, I cut this one, so it's not going to show much at all. Looky there, now my tree's going to be floating in there. I don't think I like that. I'm going to make sure that I put this over here so it has that white behind my tree. We'll see if that works. Then I have to get this glue off of the side here where I put it on the first time. Let me just take my eraser. There we go, just like that. Get that glue off of there. Now, if you don't have an eraser, an adhesive eraser, you need one. You can go to my blog, becreativewithkathy.com. You hover over the shop now, and I have a list of things that are essentials for your stamp room, and that's one of them, and you can find it. I think it's on Amazon, the link. But there you go. So, okay, now we have all of our little trees. Look how cute they are, popped up and ready to go. Let's add them to our card. So I'm going to start with the first one that's going to hold my card. I'm going to decide where I want my card to stand. And then this is the first one that you can see. The rest of them pop up. This is a good view. Pop up and don't hold the card up. This is the only one that holds my card up. Now you can pick which tree you want in the front, which tree you want in the back, but for some reason this is the tree I want. So I'm going to put him about there. So with a little bit of liquid glue, and this way I can slide him for just a second where I want him, but not too much because I don't want glue all over my card. And I wonder now, as I'm putting glue on there, if I should have maybe used my tear and tape, but oh well, as is. So I want it about there. I'm going to open my card and just lay that flat for that little tab. You saw how I put the glue. Let me give you a side view. See the glue, get my pokey tool, it was right here on this tab here, right? So now it's stuck down, and then I can press it and lay it flat, or you can pop it up. And really, that's all it takes. I'm going to use my bone folder here, make sure it's stuck down really well, and he pops up really well, and looky there. So tree number 1. And look at the front, this top part. Look how cute the front is with my little tree that sits there. Okay, let's do the other 2 now. Now that I know where he goes, I can open my card. I'm going to put glue again down there on just that tab. Right there, making sure I don't get too much. And this one, I'm going to put him, this time I think I'm going to put him all the way in the front. He'll be our focal point, nice and centered. And I do want to make sure that he looks good placed where my houses are. So that looks pretty good. There, and then the last one, we'll put a little bit of adhesive on this one. And then just set him down too. And now I'm going to use a little bit of liquid glue and make sure that's nice and adhered down and won't move. Whoop, this guy moved already. There he goes. Now he moved again. Did you see that? He's being a stickler. I want to put him, make sure he's in the same spot that the glue is so I don't have a sticky part on my card. Let me hold him just a second and see if he won't stay. There he goes. Now he's down. He was just a troublemaker. And now you have that cute pop-up card with your trees holding your easel card. Isn't that cute? So now, while we have the card here, I'm going to go ahead and put some of that glitter glue, I think they called it. I'm going to put a little bit on my trees. Now, Stampin' Up! Didn't recommend this, but I thought it looked really pretty. So I'm going to make sure the little glue comes down to the tip. And I'll be honest with you, because when I used to use, I think it was called Steckles. Did anybody use that stuff? I used to struggle to make, was it going to come out? Is it going to work? The first time it always worked great, but I worried this time that this glue wouldn't come out this time. But it tends, look, it's looking pretty good. I'm just putting a little bit of the glitter glue where the snow looks on the card. So I didn't put it all over, I'm just putting it here and there where I think it'll look good. And then of course you just let this air dry, and it dries clear where the little glitter isn't. And then a little bit here. And it just dawned on me, I should have done the front of it first. And now I'm going to have to try to do the front of my card. So make sure when you do this, you do the houses first before the trees, because then you could lay it flat and put the glue. If I didn't have it on there, I could lay it flat. But this way, I'll show you what not to do. I'm going to go ahead and just put a little layer of this glitter glue around each house. And it is very subtle, but it's really pretty once it's all said and done. Then around this house. And then around this one. Okay, then I can just set this like this and let that dry, right? But then I did go ahead and I wanted to put a little bit of what I call snow down here. So I took some more of this liquid glue and just kind of made a wavy line like this around where my trees are. So it kind of gave it the glisten of the snow. This one I'm going to go all the way across, and a little bit here, maybe a little bit over here, but just to give it some more pretty, so it looks like that. Isn't that cute? I love it. Okay, let's go to the second card. I'm going to leave those there to dry, and let's do the second card. The second card's a lot easier. It's going to go a lot faster. Let me clean up a little bit here. So I'm going to bring in that second blue card base, the card base that came in the kit. These little houses that go with that. Maybe that's all. Where did my sample card go? So let me bring this one as a reference so you can see what we're doing. The first thing I want to do is I want to cut away this part of the card here. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer. And remember, this is the one that I haven't scored yet, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in halfway. This is the 8.5 at the top. I'm going to set it up at 4 1/4. And the first thing I want to do is I'm going to trim down from the top to 2 3/4. So I can see on the side of my trimmer here the little measurements. I'm going to stand up, in fact, and just cut down like this, all the way down to 2 3/4. Now, if it's not perfect, no big deal, right? We can fix that if we need to. And then I'm going to take my scoring blade now and score the whole thing. And now I have it scored and cut exactly where I want it. Then I need to cut this piece off, so I'm going to put this at 2 3/4, and I'm going to go ahead and cut down to that score line. And now I have a perfect piece that looks like this, that's scored nice and smooth, and this is just an extra piece I can use for another project. Okay, while I have my cutter there, now we need to make these pieces 4 inches instead of the 4 1/4. So I'm going to just cut it off on this side. I'm going to set this up at 4 and trim like that, and just trim that little piece off. And the same thing with this piece. I'm going to cut off that white because we don't want extra white. We want more of the houses. I'm going to cut that down to 4 inches. And I'm going to keep the trimmer close because we might have to trim it. Oh, no, I forgot this piece. We are going to have to trim. This one, I'm going to trim down this way. And I'm going to trim it again at 4 1/4, just in half. This I'll save for another project. And then I'm going to trim off this white piece here and save as much of those little trees and houses as I can and trim that down to 4 inches. Then we just need this piece to be 5 1/4. So I'm going to cut off that little white at the bottom. And now I have the perfect base that looks like this to go on the inside of our card. Let's go ahead and put that down. I'm going to take this and fold it over, making sure that my corner lines up here so I have a nice pretty card. Looks like that. This piece with just some tape runner. Are you all with me? Still with me? I went on and on. This is a long video for me, but so far I'm doing okay. I haven't lost my mind yet. Okay, so I'm going to lay that on the inside. Now, the great thing about this is, look, you can still sign your name or whatever. In fact, you could go ahead and stamp that image right there, and then it'd be hidden in the back. I'll do that maybe later. I'm going to just focus on this. Let's go ahead and stamp our Merry Christmas on our tag here. I'm going to bring in my Pierce mat here and that red ink again. Stamp down that image. There we go. Now, really, if I was on the ball, I would probably put the glitter glue on now, but I'm not on the ball like that at all. So I'm going to put the glitter glue on after again. Those little pieces here. This piece is going to go on here like this. So when you open it, it looks like that. And this piece is going to go clear to the bottom. But see how... Nope, that's going to look good just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and hold this one here and put some dimensionals. No, this one I'm going to put flat. So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive right here next to that open, so we see at the top. And then I'm going to put tape runner at the bottom of this one. And that way I know exactly where to put my tape. Then I'm going to take this corner. I want it to be kind of toward the bottom or toward this. I don't want any blue to show, that's what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to take it and cover it about there, making sure that it lines up this way so it looks like one continuous piece. There we go. Did that make sense? And now when you open it, there's no adhesive up here where you don't want it, and it's stuck down really well. This piece we're going to put on with dimensionals, and now there again, let's see. I want to make sure I don't have any dimensionals behind here where to stick to my card, so it's still open. Let's bring in those big old sheet of dimensionals again. So I'm only going to put dimensionals along here. And there again, since I have a ton of them, I'm going to go hog wild and use 6. Take those backs off. Let's see if I got them where I don't want them. I don't want to have these hold my card shut. Let go. Now I'm going to put a nice border down here at the bottom, making sure that it lines up at the sides here so it looks like that. It's cute, right? I think so. Okay, now this time let's do the tag this way so I can make sure that I have it centered where I want it. I'm going to put dimensionals here again on my tag. And then lay that centered on my glimmer piece there. There we go. And then a little bit of adhesive on the back of that. And I'm going to lay it right down here. And I'd like to see as much of this, so I'm going to kind of lay it down here in this bald spot, I guess I'll call it, in that place right there. And then look how cute that is. Now I'll go ahead and add, excuse me, some of that glitter glue to the houses on this card too. But look how cute how it opens this way now, and how easy that was just to make those paper pumpkins into fancy folds. Alrighty, let me bring them all in so you can see we're all done except for I need to get the glitter glue on. And even now, it dries really fast. It even looks like it's starting to dry, all that glitter glue from my second card. Alrighty, last thing I'm going to tell you is if you need the measurements, they're going to be on my blog. Give me just a few minutes so I can get over there and put the measurements on there. If you're interested in Paper Pumpkin and you're not a subscriber, but you want to subscribe and you want this month's Paper Pumpkin, or I'm sorry, the stamp set. I don't know what I did with the paper now. It's a mess over here. Anyway, you make sure you subscribe under my name, Kathy Housen, Denver, Colorado, and I'll send you this month's Paper Pumpkin stamp set as a thank you. And real quick, as I promised, let me show you how I store my Paper Pumpkin stamp sets. After you're all said and done and you've made all the projects and now you want to keep that stamp set because you could use it again and again, especially because I absolutely love in this stamp set the Merry Christmas and the Happy Holidays. It's great font. They're great sizes. I'll use those again and again. Now, did I tell you that this is something you can print? You can go to paperpumpkin.com and up in the right-hand corner, it says how it works or something like that. You click on that and scroll down, and then this is something you can print off. And it's so much easier to see the stamp set printed out like this than trying to look at the stamp set like this. So I always print that out, and then I put all of my paper pumpkins, well, the paperwork, in a notebook. Let me get my cards. I don't want to mess up my glitter glue on my cards. You have to bear with me. Let me move my cards. But I have a little notebook like this. I put the instructions in here. I don't know why, probably just because I like to have them on hand. And then I take these little sheets and I have every month, I write down here the color of the ink pad that we got that month, just so I know for future references. This time is usually too big to fit in my little notebook, so I'm going to just take my paper trimmer and I'm going to just trim off, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 of an inch. It doesn't really matter. It's just storage and organizing, right? But I take that and I put this in my little book here. I guess it does matter when you can't fit your paper in your little book. You should have taken a little bit more off. It fits in there. It's just being stubborn. There we go. And then I take my stamp set and I put it in between those papers. And that way, as I flip through, I just have, you can see the stamp sets at a glance, and it's a lot easier. And then you use your stamp sets. At least I use my stamp sets more when I can flip through there and find what stamp set I need or what I need. If I need a happy birthday, look, I go right there. Do you know what I mean? I think it's a great way to store your paper pumpkin, and then you have it ready at hand. Alrighty, I know I went on and on. I was just really excited. I think this is a great paper pumpkin kit. Some of them don't inspire me like other ones, and I like to go and look at the alternatives and use other people's ideas. But this time, bada bing, bada boom, I had great ideas of my own that I wanted to share. Alrighty, thanks for watching, and I'll see you back here next Monday. Ooh, that's not true. I'm gonna sorry, I go to a paper pump or a demonstrator swap once a month on a Monday, the last Monday, the third Monday or something, and I made all of my cards and I have them all done. And so I'm gonna do an extra video this month, either I'm hoping tomorrow, fingers crossed, if not Thursday, and I'll have another card for you this week. I have so much I want to share, it's not even funny, so maybe my videos will come more often. Alrighty, thank you for the hearts. Thanks for watching. Have a great week, and I'll see you back here soon. Bye-bye.